Good evening, everyone. Tonight I need your help. Jameson Humane needs your help. Our community needs your help, and most importantly, the animals need your help. We are raising funding for very, very important supplies and equipment to help those that go behind the fire lines and those that help rescue animals and their humans.
We didn't have any warning. My husband looked out the window and it was just this big wall of red. And I got the dogs and we literally ran out and got into the car. There was flames on both sides, there was smoke, and you could hear all this noise from the fire. And I got out of the car and we knew we had to run. We kind of went down this little gully and came back up, and there were firefighters there, and they cut a hole through the fence and they put us through. And I called for the dogs, and I thought they were right behind me, and they, calling for them, I said, I've got to go back. And they said, the dogs aren't here, they're gone. But Animal Control found him on Silverado Trail about 4 hours later, and he was not even dirty. The sheriff actually found Jaja 20 minutes after we had gotten rescued, and picked her up and took her physically down to Dr. Gold's office. She had been anesthetized and severely burned. He did a heroic job of trying to save her life, but she passed away the next morning. You need a 30-second plan and a 30-minute plan because you just don't know how fast these things can happen.
Our glass was hit really hard in the glass fire back in September of 2020. Most of the winery structure burned down. The hospitality, guest house, and so forth burned to the ground. And I happened to notice on the Calistoga Ranch side some movement, and so we went over to explore what was going on, and what we found was a goat and some little baby goats. Somehow they survived, and those goats found their way to Jameson, and Jameson found appropriate homes for them, and so we were pretty tickled by the fact that we could be part of this little goat rescue.
Every day driving up this road is a reminder of what happened last fall, and unfortunately what is all too possible to happen again. You want to save human life, but so much is so important, you want to get the animals out too.
The government is not able to fund animal response during disasters, but we can.
CERT program and the CART program provide trained second-tier emergency responders that come up alongside government. Those volunteers have to have safety equipment. A helmet is $100, a vest $50 with the right equipment. Good knee pads are $25, heavy gloves are $25, $30. That's not counting radios. So the idea behind the trailer is to have a dedicated space that we can run the radio communications from, that we can take the calls for service in, process those calls for service, create packages to send out volunteers on. The second trailer, which is a little further up, is classroom space, and so that we can do dedicated trainings. But both of them are going to require modifications.
We came up here and it was burning. It was still smoldering.
Our chickens survived. They were running all over the property. They were dust bathing near smoldering mulch, which is
incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So we had a lot to be lucky and thankful for. Like, we didn't have livestock that needed to be rescued or anything, but what Jameson Humane does is just takes care of people when they need it, and just knowing you have a little backup, somebody to help you out, it's huge.
I can only imagine being burned out of my house, whatever, but knowing that my animal's okay.
And had a place to go.
And had a place to go. And that's almost more important than having a place to go yourself.
Put the dogs in the car, everyone's safe, everything else, if it burns, it burns, but at the end of the day, we were fortunate enough to have a car that could fit my parents' big dogs. We had a lot of neighbors in need. They did not have the resources, they did not have the vehicles, they did not have even neighbors around them. That was when we realized the importance and necessity that we needed to step up and help Jameson.
We are the nexus between the CART teams, the CERT teams, law enforcement, sheriff's departments. We all come together in a very special moment to help save more lives.
We heard pretty early that we had lost our house in Kenwood through a neighbor, and we knew the fires were coming towards the winery.
We were battling fires here for about 48 hours.
We had to figure out, how to A, alert our colleagues, and B, come nab our beloved goats and our 2 cattle.
We've never put them in a trailer, don't have an animal trailer. We're put in touch with a group that was rescuing larger animals and bringing them to the fairgrounds in Santa Rosa.
I found the goats first. They were in the goat pen. And then we tried to find the cattle, and they were in this covered pen, and I think they had like an acre to themselves.
We really feel the need at Jameson Humane to create this disaster center and be that nexus for all these different groups to come together to make sure that the animal life is taken care of just as the human life is.
This is a new property for us. We lost our home in the 2017 fires. It was a devastating night, and I am so fortunate that I'm here actually to be here today. My friends and I left in our robes that night and came back the next day, and our house was gone. This olive tree actually came from our Partridge Road property. So we brought a piece of the past with us to celebrate our journey forward. Mark and I are so grateful for this community, and we've learned so much, and the compassion, the generosity, and particularly the resilience. And it's so amazing to see the growth of Jameson.
What you'll see here around you is that we were greatly affected with the 2020 fire. We weren't able to get up here for probably a week to 10 days, and we couldn't even make it to the property. We climbed up to an adjacent ridge line, and I could see through the trees this patch of green. And I thought, well, there you go, immortal is immortal, I guess. Somehow a portion of the vineyard survived, but it was pretty devastating to us. Not only did we lose the entire crop for 2020, but we lost 40% of the vineyard. All of our equipment, all the buildings, everything that was up here, all gone. The animals can't outrun this, and when you look around here, you can see that so many animals lost their lives, lost their homes, and there was no one calling them.
This year's funding need is critical. We need your help.
Yeah.
We have volunteers that are trained to go behind fire lines and to rescue animals, and sometimes the humans with them. And they need supplies and equipment that unfortunately the government won't fund.
And so I think the effort around animal relief and what you're doing in a disaster is really important.
Fires aren't going away. Jameson Humane isn't going away. So please give generously tonight. Know that your money is going to a great place and that you can count on us to be there for the animals in their time of need.
This year's Fund a Need, you can see from the past how much is needed. I think that it's the least most of us can do.
Open up your heart and open up your checkbook and let's get this funded so that, when the next fire comes, that we're better prepared.
Now is the opportunity to, reach deep into your pockets and support, those that can't support themselves.
I mean, Fund a Need, guys, come on! This is like where we need every single paddle up.
We're raising our paddle. Do it for Jameson. Do it for our community. And thank you for being here tonight and all your support.